Wild card weekend is here. Finally, time for the NFL playoffs 2020 version. We're going to talk about each and every game right here and give a little fantasy spin on each one, along with our predictions. First of the Sunday games is a rematch of last year, the Baltimore Ravens against the Tennessee Titans. Both run heavy teams. Let's see which one prevails this year. So, how do you feel like this game is going to go? Because, both teams kind of rolling heading into the playoffs, finish on a strong note. But I mean, it could go either way because these teams are pretty similarly matched, I feel.
Yeah, this is the game I'm most excited to watch. It's got the highest total on the weekend. Titans games always are high scoring. We know that Ravens offense can put up points. We know the Titans can put up points. I expect a lot of points in this one. I expect a lot of back and forth. I expect this to be just an incredibly enjoyable game. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, interesting because Tennessee has been putting up a lot of points. And of course, they give up a lot of points too because they have zero pass rush. That might not matter much because, well, the Ravens don't pass and don't really need to pass much either. This game wasn't super high scoring last year. But again, this is a different version. Tennessee, they've just been devastating teams with Derrick Henry running over everybody, AJ Brown taking another step forward, Corey Davis emerging this year. There's so many different players that could go off in a given week. And then the Ravens, I don't know. I feel like they've kind of taken a little step backwards from last year. Of course, Lamar Jackson not quite playing at MVP level, but maybe they're a little more balanced this year, which is a good thing. So let's talk about a specific player, though. Which player do you feel like you want to keep a really close eye on? Who could be the difference maker in this game?
Well, I've been watching Corey Davis all year, and I want to keep watching him as we head into the playoffs. This was a bit of a Devontae Parker-esque breakout, right? The very rare fourth-year breakout for Corey Davis. And I want to see if we can keep it going because the Ravens, even though this defense isn't that, elite defense that we know from years past, it's still a very good defense and a very good secondary. And I do think they're going to put an emphasis, obviously, on stopping Derrick Henry. And we know on the other side, A.J. Brown is an absolute stud. But I want to see what Corey Davis can do because, again, looking ahead into next year drafts, Corey Davis is going to be one of those kind of question mark wide receivers about where do you draft him? How do you feel about him? What are you getting with him? Was it a one-year wonder? What can he do? And I think this is going to be pretty telling as far as his future value goes. So I'm definitely going to be watching Corey Davis to see, what kind of success he can have against his secondary.
Yeah, I feel like last year their passing game, it was basically AJ Brown or bust. Like that was it. They were just hoping he would make a play. And then it was Derrick Henry the rest of the time. But if Davis can stretch the field, if he can be another factor there in the pass game, that really opens things up and helps them. So absolutely, he's definitely a player to watch. I'm curious to see how much faith people have in him going into next year's drafts too. So one difference also from last year on Baltimore's side is, Lamar Jackson did his thing. That's really not the issue. But Mark Ingram kind of struggled in the playoffs. Of course, he's not even a factor this year because they have J.K. Dobbins and they drafted him for a reason to replace Ingram, which he's done. He's looked great down the stretch. Of course, finishing with a bang in 160 yards in week 17 and a pair of touchdowns. I mean, he's shown that they made the right choice in getting him as their featured back. So how's he going to do in the playoffs now? Can he keep it going? Well, Tennessee doesn't put up a lot of resistance in terms of run defense. So I'm curious to see if he can be kind of that complement to Jackson and keep that offense going at least long enough to keep Tennessee's offense off the field. And he's a guy I'm really high on. We talked about how we have our way too early mock draft going for 2021. That's right. We're already ready for the 2021 fantasy season. And so we're doing a mock. And I took Dobbins in second round. I feel like he's a really strong, as an RB2, I feel like that's a great pick. He might even be low in RB1 based on the way he's finishing this year. So I'm curious to see how he performs.
Yeah, another rookie having a great finish to the season. And against Tennessee, he shouldn't really find much resistance. So I expect him to have another big game, which would just only increase his hype going into 2021 drafts. So definitely excited to see what he could do on Sunday.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to get to our predictions, but first, if you take a moment, hit that subscribe button. We definitely would appreciate it. We break down all playoff games for you And of course, we'll be producing fantasy content all off season long. We don't take a week off. All right, let's get to it. Who do you feel is going to win this matchup?
I'm going with the Ravens. I just think offensively, I think they can keep up with the Titans, and defensively, I think obviously they're better than the Titans. The Titans defense is not good, right? They don't get any pressure at all. I think the difference is going to be this Ravens defense. If they can slow Derrick Henry down even a little bit, and if that secondary can step up and make it tough on Ryan Tannehill, then I just don't see any way the Titans keep up with the Ravens. Like I said, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be close, but I think in the end, the Ravens pull it off.
Well, you know what? For the first time, I think we've been on the same page. A lot of these matchups, I'm going to disagree. I actually think the Titans take this one because, well, there's no stopping Derrick Henry. Let's just face it. I don't think it matters the defense. He's been just absolute monster. And last year the Titans kind of surprised some people with their postseason run at the end of the year. I feel like they're better, a little bit better than they were last year. Tannehill, of course, was super effective in the second half of last season. He's been just as good this year. And they actually, like you said, with Corey Davis, have a little bit more of a balanced passing attack. Jonnu Smith at tight end. And so I feel like they have enough offensive firepower that they can outscore the Ravens. And if they get ahead early, the Ravens, they're just not a kind of team that really can play from behind. So I'm going with Tennessee.
See, I feel the same way about the Titans. If the Ravens get ahead, I don't feel like the Titans are equipped to play from behind either. So I guess it's going to come down to which team gets out to the hot start and can force the other team to play the way they don't want to.
That's a good point. You know what? This will be very interesting to watch. Definitely a game. It's a good way to kick off Sunday of these matchups. All right. Well, that does it for our wild card preview of the Ravens Titans. Don't forget to catch all our other videos. And of course, hit subscribe if you like this video. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching.